Okay, it's the last night before Yom Tiv, but we didn't do yet how to do the mitzvah of Lulav and Etrog. We'll discuss all about the mitzvah of Sukkot, the brachas, when you make a bracha, when you don't make a bracha. So tonight we'll talk about the mitzvah of Lulav and Etrog. So one fundamental introduction is that in order to fulfill the obligation of the mitzvah, they have to be held the way they grew, the way they grow. So for instance, let's say somebody will take a lulav and turn it upside down. Instead of holding it upward, they'll hold it downward. They didn't fulfill the obligation of the mitzvah. Or the adasim, or the aravis, or the etrog upside down. Anything it has to, the Gemara says clearly, they learn now, it has to be the way it grows, which means it has to be the way it grows from the tree, upward. So therefore, there's many different customs. First of all, it says in halacha, the first day, just here would be Tuesday morning, it says you're supposed to get up early to do the mitzvah of Lulav and Etrog. The whole year we're waiting for this. The Bais Din, it says, would be up literally a whole night waiting for daybreak to come that you should be able to do the Lulav and Etrog. Ideally, the best time to do Lulav and Etrog is after sunrise. The people that daven an early minyan, because they have to go to work or whatever it is, so al pidin, you could be yaitze even from aleisa shachar, from dawn, which practically speaking is like 72 minutes before sunrise. So then, sometimes it could be maybe even a little bit longer, but ideally the best time to do Lulav and Etrog is any time during the day, from sunrise to sundown. It doesn't dafka have to be, there's a concept in halacha called zrizim magdimim lemitzvah. Zealous people do a mitzvah earlier. So ideally you should try to do the mitzvah early as possible. But halachically, any time during the day is good for the mitzvah of Lulav and Etrog. So now we have the way the custom is that the Lulav has 3 things on it. And that itself, there's different customs. Some people have those things, the holders you put in, and then you put the adasim on the right and the aravis on the left. According to Kabbalah, we don't use those things. We actually tie it with something from the lulav itself. And we don't put right and left. We put one arav on the right, one arav on the left, and adasim around it. Many of us add more than 3 adasim. That should be covered. But either way, it doesn't matter, because halachically we said, if you take a loose lulav, a loose arava, a loose dasim, and you put it together, you did the mitzvah. But nevertheless, it says, there's another interesting point, the etrog should not be held in the same hand when you do the mitzvah as the lulav. Now, you should need the lulav in the right and the etrog in the left. You shouldn't hold everything in the right hand. It'll be questionable if you actually did the mitzvah or not, because it has to be right and left. Now, right-handed person holds the lulav in his right hand. Left-handed person holds the lulav in the left hand, because that is their right hand. What? We got time here. We got to first do the mitzvah. Okay, so now you get up in the morning, okay? There's a lot of different ways to do it. We said the best place to do it is in the sukkah. The best time to do it is before davening. Before halal. The bottom line is, practically speaking, the best place to do the mitzvah lulav and etrog if you have a sukkah is in the sukkah. Now, how do you do the mitzvah? You get up early in the morning, okay? You hold the lulav in your right hand. And you make the bracha on the tilas lulav. Why do you make the bracha on tilas lulav? Why don't you say on the tilas arba minim or lulav and etrog? Because the lulav, number one, is the tallest of them all. And secondly, there's a lot of reasons, but secondly, the reason is because the lulav has 3 out of the 4. So you make a bracha on the lulav. So now you hold the lulav in your right hand. Okay? Now, many people have different customs. I'm going to first say what the Chabad custom is, then I'll tell you what other customs are. We hold the lulav in the right hand. And we make the bracha sheketshanim mitzvaysev v'tzvanu on the tilas lulav. Now the first day, or the first time you're doing it, you also have to make a shachianu. So then, our custom is like this. You hold the lulav in your right hand, and you make the bracha Hashem sheketshanim mitzvaysev on tilas lulav. Then when we start the shachianu, we take the etrog in the left hand, and we say, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu, and we start putting it closer to the lulav, that when you finish the bracha, v'giyonu l'zman hazeh, then you put it together and you shake it. Okay, that is the Chabad way. And other people, if you notice, will hold the esrog upside down. They'll hold the lulav in the right hand, and the esrog they'll hold upside down. So, this would be the esrog. Okay, they would hold it this way, upside down, with the pitum down. Why do they do it that way? It's very simple. Because if you put the lulav together with the esrog, that itself is doing the mitzvah. So let's say by mistake, somebody took the lulav and esrog and they put them together. You did the mitzvah. So now you can't make a new bracha. Because you already did the mitzvah, it'll be a bracha in vain. Because you did the mitzvah. So our custom is we hold it in the right hand. We don't even touch the esrog yet. In Shechianu we start holding the esrog and then we put it together. What other people do is they'll hold the lulav and esrog together, but they'll hold the esrog upside down, with the pitum down. So again, because they're not doing it the way it grows, you're not yetzer the mitzvah. So they make the bracha shekishon mitzvah tzvana until lulav, holding the lulav and esrog upside down, the esrog upside down, and then when they finish it, they'll turn the esrog right side up. So either way is fine to do the mitzvah. The main thing is you can't put the lulav and esrog together before you do the bracha, because then you're not able to make a bracha. What?
If someone wishes to have like a coffee and water before taking lulav, because they want to eat the lulav at shul, not at home, like that.
Some people have a minig. It's brought down in halacha. Some people have a minig. They won't eat before they do lulav and esrog. Some people won't drink either. Most people will drink before lulav and esrog, but they won't eat. Why? It's a prominent, it's not mitzvah like tefillin you do every day. You know, it's not. It's an exciting mitzvah, so you don't. There's a minig in halacha, especially the first day, that you don't at least eat until you do the mitzvah. Now, part of the mitzvah of the lulav, even though then you put it together, you did the mitzvah, but there's something called the na'anuim. And na'anuim are the shaking of the lulav and esrog. So again, there's a lot of different customs, how you move it, which direction you move first, second, first, how to do it. So our custom is as follows. When we make a bracha on the lulav and esrog, we put our feet together. Okay, so we make the bracha on the lulav, our feet are together, and we're facing east, mizrach. You hold the lulav in your right hand, you say the bracha, shekisham mitzvah on to lulav, then you start the shechianu, and you start, again, putting it together. You finish the shechianu, you put it together. Now, what are the main thing is to do the shaking in all directions. So Chabad is just very simple because it's very straight. Right, left, center, up, down, back. Right, left, center, up, down, back. So it's very simple. And you shake it in each direction. And many people, and that's our custom, we bring it back to the heart. Every time we shake it, we just don't go like this, We actually bring it back to the heart in all 18 directions, because there's 6 directions, 3 shakes in each direction. So we bring the lulav and back to the thing. And that's how you do the mitzvah. Then it's ideal is properly that you get other people to do the mitzvah also. To be mezakeh people that they should also be doing the mitzvah. Now another important thing to understand is that on Shabbos, we don't do lulav and esrog. If you don't do lulav and esrog on Shabbos, therefore the lulav and esrog become muktzah. You're not allowed to move the lulav and esrog. On a regular Shabbos, yes. During the year, yeah. But Sukkot, you're not allowed to shake the lulav and esrog. And therefore you're not allowed to move it. Why is it muktzah on Shabbos? It's very simple. The mitzvah of the lulav and esrog are designated for the mitzvah for 7 days. So because it's designated for the mitzvah, you're not allowed to use it for anything else. Let's say you get hungry in the middle of Sukkot, you want to eat your esrog. You can't do it. Because it's huktzah, like the schach is also muktzah for 7 days. So therefore, on Shabbos, normally on a regular Shabbos during the year, esrog is a food. You can eat it, it's not muktzah. Okay? But Shabbos of Sukkot, you can't eat it because it's Yom Tov. It's designated for the mitzvah. You can't do a bracha on it because you're not allowed to do lulav and esrog on Shabbos because you may come to carry it. So therefore, it's stricter on Shabbos of Sukkot that a Lulav and Esrog is more muksa than it is during the rest of the year when it's not even muksa. Okay, another thing just to, okay. Now the first day, by the way, is biblical. Kachtem lachem b'yom harishain. It's a biblical mitzvah to do on the first day. The other days, of the other 6 days of Sukkot are really rabbinic. It's not biblical, it's only, the Torah says clearly, Kachtem lachem b'yom harishain. And the first day is biblical, and the rest of the days is not. Now, if something cracks, something breaks, something chips, like let's say the piton falls off, so then the esrog is not complete anymore. So many times it would be puzzle. If somebody showed me today a beautiful esrog, really nice esrog, came to my house to show it to me. At the bottom, there was a little scrape, but it wasn't clear if there was missing from the actual esrog. You know, if it's just a little scrape that nothing of the esrog is missing, then it's still kosher. But if something is missing from the actual esrog, part of the fruit is, then it's not kosher. So I looked at it for a while, but it's clear that was like cut into the actual esrog, so there wasn't. You can give it to a kid, but it wasn't a kosher esrog because there was actually something missing in the actual esrog, which could be a problem. Okay, what?
Last time you said the best time to say the bracha is right before
Halal.
But now we're saying that the best thing is to do it right in the morning, right after the Shabbat. So which one?
So we said the best place is in the sukkah. The best time is before Halal. But you can't both do both, because everybody's not going to run out of shul before Halal. So therefore, the place outweighs the time. So therefore, you do it in the sukkah before davening. You know, halacha is very practical. There's something called Kiddush Club. Kiddush Club means, hoyelesiya, that in a lot of shuls, the guys go out before Torah reading, during Torah reading, middle, after, whatever, and they go in to make Kiddush. And they get drunk. So then they don't listen to Kriyas HaTorah, they don't do, they make a mess of the minyan, and so on and so forth. Can you imagine if you have a sukkah, like this sukkah, and let's say there's food in the sukkah, and guys are going to go out in the middle of davening to the sukkah, you expect them to come back for the rabbi's speech? And it's not going to happen. They wouldn't even come back for the Kriyas HaTorah. They wouldn't come back. So therefore, no, it says in halacha, it becomes a balagan. It becomes just a mix-up. So therefore, you do it before davening in the sukkah. But let's say somebody's davening himself. Yeah, technically, you can go and do it in the sukkah, middle of davening. But again, the custom is generally speaking to do it right, because there's another issue. If you do the bracha on the esrog, the lulav and esrog right before halal, then one of the lines of their nanuim you don't do, because you just did it. So it's a lot of things at that. So the best thing is to do it the simple way. You do it before davening as early as possible, after sunrise preferably, like we said, and that's it. 1 second, what else is there? I'm not just talking further. Okay. Okay, the Hadassim, you need to have most of them in threes. The Harovas, okay. Okay, now what happened? This could be a practical din. What happened? We said the mitzvah of Lulav is from sunrise to sundown. Well, let's say sundown is 6:30. And at a quarter to 7 at night, you realize they didn't do Lulav and esrog yet. So should you do it, and are you allowed to make a bracha? So the halacha is, you do it, but without a bracha. Why do you do it without a bracha? Because the question is, when does night begin? There's a lot of opinions in halacha, when does night begin? Does night begin from Plag HaMincha, which is now at a quarter before Shkia, or does it begin from Shkia? Bottom line, in practical halacha, after, without Rebbe holds at least considered, from sunset, sundown to nightfall is called Bein Hashmoshes, twilight, which is Safek Yom, Safek Laila. We don't know if it's day or night. So therefore, mitzvah that you need to do at night, you can't do early, because maybe it's not night. Mitzvah you have to do during the day, you can't do it, because maybe it's night already made, not day. So therefore, let's say somebody, Shkia 6:30, and according to 7, you realize you didn't do Lulav and Esrig, so then is you do it without a bracha, because, I mean, you can't lose anything, maybe it's still day, and then you would be able to do the bracha at least properly. What? No, you can't do it. No, if a child's Bein Hashmoshes, you push it off to the next day. Because you're not allowed to do a bris before the 8th day. So if, let's say, a kid was 6:30 again, let's say a kid was born 6:45, which, by the way, the definition of birth is when the head comes out. It's a very interesting, okay, for 1 second. You know, a lot of times the hospital writes what time the baby is born, but the hospital doesn't care exactly what minute the baby was born. A father, let's say, this in the room or whatever, and they're having a baby, and the baby is, it's Bein Hashmoshes, you have to look very carefully at what time exactly the head of the baby comes out. Because what they do in the hospital, the head of the baby comes out, the nurses are busy, right? They take care of the baby, they clean him up, and then they look at the clock, oh, okay, he was born in this and this time. The entire head. What? Up to the neck.